we're moving along quite smartly now. This is step 17, and with step 17, this looks like a very busy step, doesn't it? It's all about the front hub carriers and the axle stubs that go out to the front wheels. So I've got all the components all laid out here. So you've got a left and a right, which is OT204 part 6. And this one will be the right hand one, which would be OT204 part 3. So they kind of refer to a right one here. Show you how to make the left one, but you're kind of making two, one for left, one for right. Also, you've got your left and right again. So they do actually stamp on here an L and an R on these, so you can't get them wrong. So you've got a left and a right of these, which is your OT211A. And the other side will probably be an OT211B, I would have thought, but hey, it's they're the same. But you've got a left and a right, and again, they're stamped on here. You've got your various hardware, your 3x8mm machine button head screws. You've got these little screw pins, which are the OT231Bs. You've got your little pivot balls, which are 5.8 by 3 M3s. These are 4 of those, so you're going to be putting one into the plastic and one into the arm itself. You've got these little collars. These are the OT212s. So you've got 4 of those, so you've got 2 on each side. You've also got these hex at the end, which are the OT231As, and there's a little important note: the direction, of course. So you have to make sure you got the direction correct. You've also got the axles itself, OT229s, and you kind of got some various, making sure that you tighten things are flush. There's a little bit here, look. Make sure that the gap is 0.5 of a millimeter. So that's the gap, no doubt, between here and here. And there's a ball where the ball comes through. So yeah, wow. That's actually, the ball goes through here. So there's 0.5 millimeter. So there's little bits here. So let's do this step by step. So I've got the components out. And a little bit of thread lock, of course. So we'll do what we need to do in terms of a little bit of thread lock too. Lovely step here. Love it. Right, let's get on. So let's see if we can put this together. So we got our left part, which is denoted with the L. So we've got our OT204 part 6, which is the left part, and our left knuckle. This is again denoted with the L, and we've got to slot these in here. And the first things we need to do is put these little collars in. So they've got the OT212s, so you've got to put one collar in here and one collar in here. Okay, then once you've done that, this has got to slip between the two, so you might just need to gently pop that in between. It might need to just put a little bit of force up that way, just to allow it to slide through. There you are, so it slid through. And then what we need to do is we need to hold this in place. Let's dry fit these so they hold into place. So that's what I would do here, just to make it a little bit easier. So a couple of threads on there and a couple of threads underneath there. And we could put the bearings and stuff in a moment. So just dry fitted the top one and the bottom one, so at least we know where it is, okay? So need to put a little bit of thread lock on these screws. So now we've dry fitted one in, at least it'll hold it in place. I could quickly pop one of them off and put a little bit of thread lock on, and it means that it doesn't fall apart on me. Okay, so there we go. It makes it a little bit easier. So let's pop a little bit of thread lock on there. Don't need too much. Pop that back in. Catch those threads. Wind that in. And then I'll do the same again for the bottom one. And again, you can see by doing it one at a time, you hold that in place. and down, use your own one. And again, pop that up underneath. So now that that's in place, and that's in place, we need to pop in one of these ball joints, the pivot balls, and I've noticed that this seems to be longer than the drawing slightly, but it must be the right one because it's the only ones in the bag. So we pop those in, and I believe it says to you, you've got to make sure that this doesn't stick out more than 0.5 millimeter. So that's fine. So we'll wind that in. So it's just poking out, I think, just poking out the end. It's roughly where I think anyway. So I guess. So there we are. Then we need to put in the other ball joint, pivot ball. This needs to go from here and downwards. So you put that through. But with this one, you've got to refer to the top drawing that says tighten until flush with the nut. So this one here, we're going to use one of the nylon nuts, and we're going to tighten that down until it's flush with the nut. So got to go that way around, and I'll probably use my box and this one here, and we'll keep turning that until we get it flush. Which I think is about there. Okay. And then we can now put in the remaining components, which are bearings, which have been soaking in my ZX1 oil. And I can pop those in. And the actual axle itself can go through. Then the other bearing on the other side. There we go. You can jiggle it over until it fits in. There we are. And then the other thing we need to do here is the hex needs to go on the correct way. So inside there is a little shroud. So you pop that shroud through, and it's the flat, completely flat on this side, and these little screw pin, which is the OT231Bs, you pop that through so it collects the hole in the shaft, and you then screw it all the way through. There we are. There we are. That's the left one. I have to go and build the right one. So I'll carry on and do the other side. And there we have it. We have the left front hub carrier, the right front hub carrier. Try saying that when you've had a few. Anyway, that's now step 17 completed. And we can now move on to the next step.